So let's get started. Thank you for all of you who are here already, and thank you for golly, Josh. Just thank you so much for agreeing to be part of this, for jumping in so quickly, and for kicking off our first. We're calling these a lot of different things. So admissions has this running alumni Ask Me Anything, and of course. This one is so special, and this month is so special because we are celebrating Black History Month. And so for you to be the first alumnus of the month to kick this off, we're very excited. And most people who are joining have probably already seen your bio. That's probably why they're jumping in, because you had that great photo and just a really fun story to tell. I would love for you to just spend a couple of minutes giving us a little bit of your bio, and then we've got a couple of questions that I'm going to ask you that you can respond to, and then we can open it up for questions as people to continue to come in. So Josh, can you just start by giving us a little bit of introduction and background of who you are and maybe how you got to Muskingum?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm Josh Keys. I'm 25 years old. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. I was recruited to come to Muskingum by a guy named Gene Ford. You know, God bless his soul. He recruited me when I was 18 years old and told me about, this wonderful place called Muskingum that I had never seen before. And I was just really interested in going out there and kind of, just getting a feel for being a college student. So I come down to Muskingum, and Coach Ford kind of walking me around the place, and I have this look on my face like I don't know, how I feel about being out here. Is so far away, it's so much land, and I have my doubts about, just being in the town. Coach Schwab came along during my process, during my time there, kind of picked up the program, and we were able to build a relationship as far as just basketball wise. He really helped me sit down and lock in the classroom. I had a great 4 years
I'm watching
there.
Josh.
I had a great 4 years there, so that worked out for me. Had a conversation about
Black History
wanting to go and play pro.
He doing that Muskingum.
And sorry, that's my brother. Wanting to go play pro, and we had a talk, and I actually signed a deal to go play in a small city in Brela, Romania. And so I go out to Romania to play. This is a brand new experience for me. I go out there and play. I win a championship in my first year. I come home the second year. I go back. Some things happen. I continue to play, and just kind of I can take my experience that I had in Muskingum with just, diversity and meeting and talking and networking to different people. And I kind of took that along with me. This past season, I just came home from being in Vietnam. So I was in Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam, where I played for 5 months, and I just won a championship there. So now I'm back home, and I'm able to just, share this experience with you guys.
That's incredible. So you touched on this just a little bit in terms of your experience here, but I'd love for you to share with us what did you most appreciate as a student? And I mean, I know that you've already talked about coming from Cleveland to New Concord, so there was a little bit of a shift there, but share with us what you most appreciated about being a student here.
So being at Muskingum, I really appreciated just the closeness of the community surrounding the school and within the university. Knowing everybody was good for me. It wasn't hard for me to kind of go in and talk to my teachers and say, hey, I need a little bit more help with this assignment. Or everybody being in class and we having like a study session or a study table together, working to kind of help each other out. Like I said, the difference in Cleveland, Ohio, it's a pretty big city, to New Concord is very small, and you see the same faces every day, and you kind of interact with the same people. So I was able to develop a close relationship with a lot of people on campus, staff, students, faculty, everybody. I think that was one of the things that I took most, along with the diversity for me, being, an African American male from Cleveland, Ohio, being able to communicate and interact with other races and ethnicities. So that was another thing that I would take as a big thing for me moving forward in my life, being able to not only now speak to people from different races, but from different countries who speak different languages. And I was able to start developing that aspect of life at Muskingum.
So this is just, I didn't prep you for this, but this is a follow-up to the answer that you just gave me. Were you used to building those kind of connections with teachers in your high school? So that was kind of easy for you to do once you got here. Now keep in mind, we've got some prospective students on the line, and so I kind of want to prep them for what to expect here. Or was that something that you had to really get used to, being comfortable approaching somebody like that?
Honestly, it was a step for me to be able to reach out. It was a step outside of my comfort zone a little bit, to be able to say, hey, I need help in this aspect of study, or I need help in this area. So the comfortability of the teachers and the faculty there, where they were open when I was there, and they was like, don't hesitate to ask us. You can come to my office after hours if you need to. So that was a very welcoming thing. I never felt like I couldn't get help, or there wasn't anybody to really reach out and grab me and say, hey, listen, this is what I can do for you, and we can work together to get this done.
Awesome. Okay, question number 2. Now we're getting serious here. What's something that you would change, that you would have changed about your time while you were here, about Muskingum, about your experience? You promised me you promised me transparency, so.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna tap in for you. So, I wouldn't say would. I would say something that I did change there was just helping more people understand my culture and how I was, from many things, maybe wearing a hat or a hoodie, or just talking and laughing. Like, some things kind of came off, not that they just were like, how can I say this? Like, not that they were like weird, they just had never been seen before. Some of the things, as far as maybe we can say, like the music, the loud talking, just kind of trying to be like a college student, some of those things, kind of, people weren't as open to that, and what they didn't know. I kind of helped them understand, like, no, yo, this is how we do this, or this is how I, like listening to my music, or, my food, or this is how I eat this. It was a lot of things that I kind of did, being me, myself, that was kind of unheard of, or, people just weren't used to. But as far as that being accepted culturally, as far as, being in groups together a lot, like I said, I'll say the music a lot, because I like rap music. This is me being transparent. I like rap, R&B. When I first got there, the campus kind of had a country kind of vibe, and that's okay. I'm going to understand that, as long as you guys can kind of step in with me and try to understand, my music, and this is what I like. So it would have just been just different things, wearing different, clothes, and maybe the music, or just the conversation, the level of conversations that we were having. So those things, that's something I wouldn't say that I would wish we changed. It was something that I would say I tried to change, and give the university, that effect on.
Did you, again, you're giving me such good answers. I can't just stop where you stopped. Did that surprise you? Did it surprise you that you were taking such an active role in trying to share those pieces of yourself with campus, or was that just something that came naturally to you?
Both. I would say both. Partially because, naturally, me being who I was, as far as just a leader, and knowing that, like, people are going to follow me and kind of pay attention to some of the things that I do a little more, that was always in me. But the second part was, it's not that they like don't like it, or they don't understand how the way you are, they're just not used to it. So more of it came from, initially, not understanding why I was getting asked some of the questions I was getting asked, to me actually understanding, like, they might not know, this is really something that, everyone doesn't know. People, it's not, I want to keep saying they, I mean, like people, different people might not know, yo, I like rap music. I'm gonna wear my headphones. I'm gonna rap my songs, before the game. I'm kind of, we say turned up. I'm energy. I'm talking smack. Like that's just me. And I kind of had to bring that energy towards everything. Like, okay, maybe it's not that they don't like it. They just don't know. So.
Yeah. And did
Jen,
you?
Can I jump in?
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry. I have a follow-up question before we. So Josh, and thank you for sharing that. And my follow-up question to that was: is there anything that you feel like would have assisted in your transition? Being a student of color, coming from Cleveland or inner city, transitioning to New Concord, where it's a predominantly white institution. Is there anything that you feel, or others that your peers, that you feel like would have assisted in that transition for you all, or preparing you all for that environment, or preparing the environment for you?
It was a step just to be, more open-minded. And that was something that, I had to ask of, and it started initially like kind of with the people you're around. So it started with me, like with my teammates, because I'm around them every day. So just for them to kind of just be open-minded, and just, try to understand everybody's different. And that was initially what it was. But once you kind of wear on your teammates, that kind of just energy just spreads. So for me, it just started in small groups, like as far as like being around someone and talking and having conversations. So as far as just transitioning, I don't know. I mean, it's like not a class on it. Like, I don't know. I would say like just to build those relationships and to not be hesitant and, talking to people. That was, big for me, like, because I was not standoffish, but I just had to get comfortable with the university and the people there. Once I did, I was able to develop these relationships that are long lasting. I talk to my teammates still to this day. I talk to people from Muskingum still to this day, and I don't think that would have happened had I not been reluctant to opening up.
Thank you. Sorry, Jen, go ahead.
Well, I had a follow-up question too, and it was going to be which of the songs that you played before games was Coach's favorite? But maybe that's maybe that's something that Coach would have needed to answer. I don't know. Did you get a feeling, Josh, for which one he liked the most?
If you can see Coach, right now I'm looking at him. He just kind of let us play the warm-up music. Like he just did. Go ahead. It's your CD. It's your music. It's your senior year. You put what you want to put. I'm going to say I Got the Keys because that was my favorite song by Jay-Z. And I was a senior. So when I Got the Keys came out or when it came on, I kind of warmed up a little harder. So I'm going to go with I Got the Keys by Jay-Z. If he kind of seen me, we were both like, yeah, we about to have a good game. So I'm just going to go with that, Coach. I know you didn't really like the songs, or maybe you did. I don't know, but.
Hey, I loved whatever song made you get yet another double-double because it was night in and night out. You could have listened to anything as you keep giving me what you gave me.
For sure, for sure.
Okay, well, I have one more question, and I know we just had a little lighthearted fun there, but I do have a question that that's just a little bit more serious. As I explained to you, Josh, and for those of you who are listening, our theme for all month, for Black History Month, is the Black family and representation, identity, and diversity. And so, Josh, I would love for you to talk a little bit about how you continue to promote that representation, identity, diversity in your personal life and in your professional life.
That's a good question. I would just say knowing who I am and kind of the world we live in today, and accepting that, I am a Black man at the end of the day on all costs. I think just understanding that and knowing, I'm much more than that. and that I can give you, you know, much more than that if you kind of look at me and tend to see past that, you know, the whole thing from being like a Black athlete to a Black man, just individual, recognizing that I know who I am. Some of the things that I've been through have taught me that, good and bad lessons, and just continuing to kind of think with an open heart, have an open mind when I encounter different people, because you go through it. You know, we go through it. Even, you know, being across the country, they have, you know, their own terms and their own ideas of, you know, me being a Black man or a person of color, like we would say. So just understanding that, you know, I know who I am, and kind of I know who I want to be and continue to be in everyday life. I hope I'm answering this correctly, for you, so you can kind of understand where I'm coming from. But yeah, just understanding, you know, in the world we live in, and having an understanding who I am, and some of the things that I've been up against as far as, you know, going to school, getting a degree, going to play, those obstacles along, and just being able to kind of keep pushing forward, knowing that those are some of the things that I've been through in my life.
Thanks, Josh. I think that I would love to be able to open this up for some questions. And I know we've got some people with cameras on and some people with cameras off, but I would love for you to, whether you are a prospective student or a current student or a faculty or a staff or alumnus, we just have a whole mix of people on this call. And Josh, if you are open, I would love to be able to just give people on the call an opportunity to ask some questions.
For sure. Please ask questions. Ask whatever you want.
I have a question. Josh, you talked a little bit about how, you know, going from Cleveland to New Concord was a shade of an adjustment. I can't imagine what going from New Concord to Romania is like. So how long, or what was the adjustment process for you moving overseas and also being that far away from family?
Okay, so when I first went, Romania was the first place I went. And I went to just a different country, but it was a small city. It kind of had a New Concord vibe, honestly. It was a very small city, and so it was kind of the same, like, this is where you go get food from, this is where you go here, it's a McDonald's here at the end. So I was able to kind of handle that part a little better because it wasn't a really big city unless we traveled out. So I kind of went from a similar situation, just in a totally different country. The hardest part about that, I would say, is just getting to know people again. That's it. Just getting to know how the Romanians work, their work ethic, how they thought a little bit, speaking their language. I actually learned how to speak some Romanian because I love the game, you know, basketball. So I'm a student of the game, and I need to know, how do you say pick left, and how do you say shoot, and how do you say pass. So those were some of the things. But as far as it being a difference from New Concord to Brela, Romania, it really wasn't. It was a small city as well. Lucky me. I was lucky for that. Next. Don't be shy. Ask me.
Okay, I got a question. How long did it take you to get comfortable at Muskingum? Like, get comfortable with the teachers?
That's a good question too. So at first I was just like doing my work. I was just doing the work, you know, doing what I could, what I understood. And then I would ask, you know, some of my colleagues. I would say a month, honestly. It really depends on the student. If you can do the work, if the work is not challenging for you, then it might take a little longer. But once you kind of hit that maybe second semester and the work is getting a little bit more challenging, you definitely tend to, okay, listen, could you just walk me through this? So I would say maybe a month for me, but again, I'm open and very like, listen, Sparker, I need help. That was one of my professors at the time. I don't know if she's there still, you know, one of my favorite professors, or Dr. Huber. He was another one. Listen, I need, you know, so it just depends, but they're so open there at Muskingum. It's like, they're going to help you. It's not like, it's not anything you have to be scared of. It's not anything that you have to feel like, oh, I don't know if I should ask for help or not, no, go and get the help, and they'll help you.
I have a question. How would you say or describe the support system helped you in a way to help you succeed in your life?
The support system from Muskingum?
Yes.
They just it just made me feel like if I ever need anything, because you do reach a point when it's time to leave the university that, you know, you go for a letter of recommendations, and you do, you know, get ready for job interviews, and you have internships. So it just came to a point where like anything that I needed, and I asked Muskingum, they were able to guide me in a direction, you know, that I wanted to do. I got my degree in criminal justice. I'm sorry, I forgot to say that early, but I got my degree in criminal justice. I actually worked in that field for a while, and while I was at Muskingum, I interned at a place called Campo Bannon in Newark, Ohio. And what we did was we worked with kids, underprivileged kids, to for a summer, just took them out of their homes. We kept them there. And I actually interned through Muskingum, so I was able to get credits for that, but they helped me set that up, and they made sure like, hey, these are the credits. This is the perfect internship for you, for your major and some things that you wanted to do. So they definitely put me in a position to follow that career path if necessary.
Josh, can you talk a little bit about some of the things you were involved in as a student at Muskingum, any student organizations, and how that shaped your experience at Muskingum as well?
Yeah. So I was really involved in BSU while I was there, Black Student Union. I was really involved in that. I wasn't like a chair or anything because of basketball, but as far as like helping set up events, I hosted fashion shows while I was there. We did game nights. We had Wild and Out one time, which was hilarious. We had an 80s night, which was, you know, really dope that we did. We did laser tag. So I was really active. And I wanted, you know, people to know like BSU doesn't just mean, you know, the Black community. Like we had a lot of other races and ethnicities come and interact with us. We were just a group there. As far as SAC, I was really big as far as on the athletic committee there at Muskingum. So when things were going down as far as, you know, the athletes coming together to discuss what was going on in the OAC, that was another thing that, you know, I really was tapped into. Overall, I just talked to everybody, man. I mean, like playing basketball, I was able to build those relationships, and then Muskingum is small and close knit. So I was able to talk to, you know, Stag House, or if I'm talking to Phi or whatever, I was just able to build relationships through sports with other small, you know, organizations within Muskingum.
Josh, I think one of the things that surprise parents when we have conversations with them when they come to campus and bring prospective students is they're kind of surprised that we encourage student athletes to also do other things on campus, whether it's Greek life or BSU or whatever it is. How important was it for you to be involved in multiple things on campus and not just basketball?
It was very important because, you know, basketball was basketball, but at some point you just kind of want to build and have relationships with other people. You want to tap into other things. And so I was able to, you know, you have class with different kind of people. You're working, you're doing projects, and I was just really open to meeting new people. I mean, I'm from Cleveland, and I'm all the way out in New Concord, so I'm going to, you know, build these relationships, and I'm going to talk to different people because you just, you know, you want other friends. You never know where you're going to be at the end of, you know, your career as far as athletically, but you want to be able to still build those relationships with people you may have had a class with, or people you may have saw on the quad or in a bait shop. So that was really big for me, just knowing other people. I didn't want to just be a basketball player there. I wanted to be like more so Josh, you know, you to know me, Joshua Keys, rather than just know me, oh, that's just Josh from the basketball team.
Sorry, I have another question. So throughout your criminal justice career, like your 4 years at Muskingum, was there like an academy that you had to go through, like for like training? Like, like a specific running or like workouts you had to do like each semester to help you go through your like to get to the end of the semester?
Or criminal justice itself, or are you talking about something separate?
Like to help you get into like an academy for like after college?
Oh, no, that wasn't, that wasn't a thing there. But some of the things that provided, our criminal justice program did provide, we had some really good classes that really focused on your insight for your major. I can remember taking a death penalty class or a corrections class. These are classes that we were taking that kind of focused in on maybe something that you would want to do for your career. So I can run off some of the classes that I took as far as, death penalty, correction. We even had courts class, so these are these are classes, courses that kind of focus in on which aspect of criminal justice that you may be looking to dive into as far as a career. So as far as getting ready, getting fit, my coach kind of handled that. But as far as, just the criminal justice program in itself, no.
Another question. I know that you said that you traveled, like from a different part of whatever. I'm in Kentucky right now. Did Muskingum make you feel at home, or how was your adjustment from coming from your family to being by yourself at 18?
It was different. It was different. It was. And this is me being honest and transparent again. It definitely was different. It was a step outside, of my comfort zone, being away from home, being away from some things that I knew. But as an individual, you have to kind of be willing to take a step to do something uncomfortable, to kind of see where you really are. And that was a step for me. So being there at Muskingum, it was like my first year, I didn't have a car, so I couldn't travel back and forth to home as much. And I actually liked that, because had I did, I might have left more often than not. But being able to be there and actually really, let's go out every weekend, or let's do this, let's do that, let's interact in different events, you kind of grow to like the university and what it has to offer you. It might not be like that at first. It might not. And this is me, again, being honest, like it might not be. It's not going to be. I'm not even going to say it might not. Like you might feel comfortable there, but that part of you that loves home, that misses home, is still going to be there until you develop those relationships that I'm talking about, until you maybe go to a football game. And I know with COVID right now, that's kind of not going to give you, the best insight on what you need. But as far as, when things were like normal, I guess if I can say normal, yeah, the football games, you have friends on the football team. Like I said, Muskingum is small enough to where like you're going to have a friend doing something and you're going to want to support them. So whether they're playing sports, whether they're singing, or, in a choir, or whether they're in an organization, you're going to want to be around to kind of support them and watch them, because that's just how it works.
I believe that Dr. Ingold has a question. Danny, are you unmuted? Can you ask your question?
I think I'm unmuted. Can you hear me?
Yeah, there you are.
Hey, Josh. How are you doing?
What's up, sir? How you doing?
Good to see you, man. I hadn't seen you in a little while. Do you remember you'd come and play noon ball with us now and again?
For sure.
Josh, where are you now? I missed the beginning of the meeting. Are you in Ho Chi Minh City?
No, I'm in Cleveland, Ohio now. I got back from Ho Chi Minh in about December 23rd, right around Christmas time.
Oh, so you've already been there?
Yeah, yep, already been there.
Tell me about that. I've always wondered, years and years and years ago, we were involved in a war there, unfortunately, but I've always fascinated with Vietnam, and what did you think of it?
That was different. I'm not gonna lie. Before I left here, and I'm thinking about going to Vietnam, I didn't know what to expect. So, I just didn't know. It was okay. Like I said, I take risks. Cleveland New Concord is number one. So then from there to Romania. So from Vietnam, I just was open to the experience, but I honestly can say it was really, really nice. It was really westernized as far as kind of, had an American feel to it. I lived in, skyscraper buildings. We had, as far as me, I'm concerned about the food because I got to eat. So we had KFC, we had Popeyes, we had McDonald's, we had Domino's, we had Pizza Hut. There was a lot of, little smoothie spots and stuff like that. Most of my teammates spoke English. Fortunately for me, my teammates, I didn't have to learn, that language at all, pretty much. I had 2 coaches. They were from America. So Vietnam was great. It was a great experience. As far as like some of the food and, things like that, I'm definitely a picky eater, but I was open to trying some stuff. We did a lot of filming, on my Facebook page where there's episodes where they do actually have me trying, Vietnamese traditional food, and you'll see me, cut up a little bit as far as that. But I liked it, honestly. And then I won a championship there. So that, was the icing on the cake for me as far as an experience. Is definitely somewhere that I'll go back to. Maybe later in my career, if I need to, go back there just to stop for a summer and play, I would definitely do it. The people were so nice. They were so nice. They were sweet. They understood, like, hey, you're from America. They were fascinated by it. They wanted to take pictures all the time. That was another big thing. The fan base there was, they love basketball. So for me, it's like, yeah, come on, let's take this picture. But
well, you're probably taller than most folks there.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I'm really glad you had that opportunity to go there. I mean, not many people get that kind of an opportunity. So that's pretty awesome. Now you might be able to see my sweatshirt. I'm taking it. Are you a Boston Celtic?
No, sir.
I didn't figure.
Yeah, no, sir.
I'll be a Cleveland Cav this year for you.
Okay, thank you. Thank
Josh,
you.
good to talk to you, my friend.
Good to see you. Good to see you, Danny.
All right, thank you.
Josh, you're one of the greatest leaders I've ever been around, and I've told you that privately, but I want to say that publicly. How did Muskingum and this whole Muskingum experience help hone your leadership skills? Because you don't go off into the real world and win 2 championships without great leadership, and I know you played a huge part in that. But how did Muskingum help shape your leadership skills?
It just gave me an opportunity to kind of step into that light. It just gave me an opportunity. We can talk about, the team, the university, being African-American there, when I first got there. And these are some of the things, that I'm going to share. It just gave me an opportunity to kind of bridge the gap between people there. Like it wasn't a close-knit university. Like you had these people doing this thing, these people doing this thing. If you're in this frat, you're there. But I saw an opportunity to kind of bring people together to where, maybe we all are in one spot and we all are at game night, or everybody is at Wild and Out, and it's like the whole campus is there, so it's not like that's more so off the court. Just I saw an opportunity to kind of try to bring people together. And it started, in the basketball, as far as the locker room and things like that. But once I saw kind of how I was able to sway people, I was able to kind of step into that on campus a little bit and actually give, someone a different outlook or a different experience, to what, being around, because it's different being in New Concord. So being around, African-American men or women or, things like that, bringing that, to Muskingum, for me, I felt like that was big. It was big. Like sometimes I talk to some of my friends a lot and I say, yo, like we really kind of helped change the culture a little bit here, as far as we can go to the basketball team, the music. We can talk about, the weekend festivities. Just as far as just bringing that togetherness, that close knit. Muskingum kind of gave me that light. Like I always felt like I was a leader, but being able to step into that role on the forefront, on the basketball floor, and kind of on campus, that kind of prepared me for okay, I knew automatically going into these different countries, okay, this is my role, this is what I'm here to do, and this is some of the things they're telling me. So this is like, you know, the hiring process. We're looking for a leader. We're looking for a guy to be vocal. We're looking for somebody to bring the team together. And I had already done those things, given my experience, my Muskingum experience, excuse me.
Any other questions?
Don't be shy.
Don't be shy. We've got somebody who's willing to talk.
Yes, I have another question.
Good.
How would you say the diversity at Muskingum, like as in like African Americans and Caucasian and like Asians, I would say, like how would you say the diversity there is? Like they're not all just like hanging out with their own ethnicity, like they're all like gathering together and like how, like hanging out with each other. How would you say that wise?
You just have to be open. So when I first got there, like I said, it was kind of not spread out, but you could kind of tell, like, okay, this group of people, they hang out with each other, we hang out with each other, and it was just. But now, you know, and since I've left, like you can kind of see the development to everybody being together. Like I said, being everywhere in the same spot, like on the weekends, or, you know, everybody's at the basketball game, everybody's at the volleyball game, everybody's at the softball game. You know, it's not like everybody kind of started to support everybody, and it had always been like that before, but I saw it come together more when I was there. I saw it because one, I was on the forefront of reaching out. I have, you know, I'm cool with volleyball players, I'm cool with softball players, I love being in Finney, you know, trying different foods and stuff like that. So it was just, you know, I would say it's together. I would say it's together.
I'm gonna jump in on that a little bit. What's your name? That just asked the question.
My name's Oksana.
Hi, Taksana. My name is Danielle Gregory, and I'm the Director of Diversity, Access, and Inclusion at Muskingum, and definitely not taken away from Josh's response, because that's absolutely true. However, this office was not here when Josh was a student on campus. And so we've been able to incorporate some things and create some things for transition for our students, our underrepresented students, to be able to transition and interact with one another and with others. And so the day office actually was established August 1, 2019. So it's fairly new. However, we have done a lot in the last year and a half. We actually will be opening our multicultural student lounge in the next month or so. And so that'll be a space for all of our students to come, to hang out, whether you're an athlete, whether you're Hispanic, whether you're African American. It's a large enough space that people will be able to come. Our students, our multicultural student organizations will be able to store their things there. So our Black Student Union, we have a Queer and Straight Alliance, which is CASA. We also have another student organization called Sisters of Hue, and it is for young women of color, of all hues, if you want to play on words. But students also interact because we also have Greek life. So we have sororities that have all ethnicities of students that are a part of those, and they live in houses on campus. We also have a program called the Muskie Ambassadors for Diversity, Access, and Inclusion, which is a student leadership development program that is organized out of the day office. My office, where students can apply. You get a day-long orientation training, and then depending on what level of engagement, you have the opportunity to co-present with my office, doing different diversity presentations around campus. Post-COVID, you will be able to travel to other campuses and engage with other students who are doing the same work on their campuses. You also have the opportunity to do programming with the office. We have 10 cultural heritage celebrations that we do on campus. And of course, right now is Black History Month. We did MLK Week last week. We have Women's History Month coming up. So there are opportunities for you to be able to engage in those areas as well. And so we have created a hub of things for our students to engage with together and be able to, it not only be left up to you to be able to access different groups on campus or come together. We actually have an office now and a space and different opportunities for our students to be able to take advantage of. So I wanted to share that with all of you because I know that a number of you are prospective students on this call, or maybe parents. And so because our office is fairly new, most of our alumni that will be on these calls will not be able to speak to what we have in our offering in the day office. but their experiences, we're so excited to have and hear their experiences, because the day office wants to build on their experiences and with the inquiries of our incoming students to see what it is that we can offer to make these experiences of our students of color that much greater. So I just wanted to step in, introduce myself, and let you all know that we do have an office on campus who is here to support those efforts as well.
Thanks, Danielle. We probably have time for one more question. Josh, if you're still feeling up to answering one more question.
Yeah, I'm cool. I'm cool. Ask away.
So who wants, there's a lot of pressure in asking the first question, but there's not as much pressure in asking the last question. So who has a final question? We've heard from some prospective students. We've heard from some faculty members. Who has a final question for Josh? Or Josh too. I mean, I also want to give you an opportunity to just share some closing remarks with us. But let's see. Did I just see somebody unmute to ask a question? Was that you, Danielle? No.
I have a question. Josh, I know your senior year of high school would have been a second ago, but if you could give advice, thinking back to what your experience is like, selecting Muskingum, what would be advice you would give to current seniors in high school when it comes to finding where they would like to go to school?
So I would just say, I'm just coming from me and my experience alone, that like Muskingum has a really special place in my heart, and not just because I went to school there. It's actually because of the interaction. It's because of the close-knit relationships that I were able to build in the classroom, outside of that, on the basketball floor. I just, Muskingum saved my life. In my senior night, I kind of said that when I was at Muskingum, that was one of the things I was feeling, very emotional, because honestly, I don't know where I would have been, without it. I don't know what school I would have been able to go to. I don't know what, team I would have been able to play on had it not been for, Coach Gene Ford coming all the way to East Cleveland, Ohio, from New Concord to say like, hey, like, I really want you to come out here and, just give it a try. Like, and that's what he told me, like, give it a shot. Like, you might like it. I'm going to make sure, that you're in the best environment, you're around the best people. And that's one thing I can honestly say that Muskingum gave me. Like I said, without Muskingum University, I wouldn't be here today talking to you guys. I wouldn't be, a two-time champion or anything like that. And I can say, just to close, like, I've built relationships, with men and women there that, I would never take for granted. And, I've had, some teammates, I don't know if you guys can see this, but my teammate, Jarrell Marsh, he passed away during, after I left, but he was a student of Muskingum. And, we were able to, build really close-knit relationships. And those are some things that, you can't get back. And so without Muskingum, I don't meet Jarrell, I don't meet Jake Geller, I don't meet my teammates. I'm not able to sit here and talk to you about Gene Ford and me honestly saying, like, every university is not going to give you that experience that you get from Muskingum. It's really a special place from LinkedIn all the way to your, first day on campus. And you'll remember those things, and you'll see like, okay, there's people that went to Muskingum University all around the world. And that's just special. That's what they say, like, long magenta line. And it's true, because not too many people hear from, Muskingum University. If you say that, like, oh, okay, New Concord, Ohio, you went to Muskingum. That's really a big thing. And it's like, okay, what year did you come out? I'm pretty sure you guys are going to know the same professors. You're going to know the same buildings, and I'm just, excited for the future students to be able to understand that you're going to build relationships there that, like, nothing else is going to give you. And you're going to cherish those relationships with you forever. Like I said, some of the things that, I've been through at Muskingum and outside, some of that stemmed from Muskingum. And the best part about it is being able to say, like, I'm a graduate, from Muskingum University. I was able to know these people. I was able to have these relationships, and I was able to step into, my comfort zone and being a leader and bringing people together, and that's just something special that Muskingum did for me. But I know that it will do it for a lot of other students too, as well.
Josh, gosh, thank you so much for that. Thank you for all that you've been able to share with us this evening. And I'm just scanning the crowd and seeing who's here. And I see President Hassler is joined. And I would love to just take a minute to sort of do an introduction here, because again, we've got a wide variety of people joining, prospective students and current students and faculty. And so President Hassler, thank you so much for being here. We would love to give you a minute to say something if you'd love to do that.
Well, and I apologize. I came from another meeting, but I had to say hello, Josh. It is so good to see you. And I do remember your senior salute and some of the comments you made. It was pretty moving. And you actually were here in my very first year at Muskingum, graduating in 2017. Very fun to watch you play and to watch your careers. So glad you could come and talk to the group. And I think we have a hand up yet. Jen, I'm kind of seeing Sienna.
I see that, yeah.
Yeah, so we want to make sure we get that question in, but love this idea and so good to see you. You're doing okay?
Yes, I'm good. Good to see you as well.
Yeah.
Great, thank you. Sienna, did you have a question?
Yes, I do. So I'm outside. Oh, they can see me. Hi, I'm Sienna Jones. I'm the president for Sister of You. And my question is, were you part of any Greek life?
Me, no. Unfortunately, my basketball team was my Greek life. As far as that, but that was something that I definitely was open to doing, and had I had more time and really was not so focused on winning and trying to, help, my team and my program, that I probably would have.
My next question, with you playing basketball, did you come with any relation to microaggressions or affected by any type of racism while you're playing basketball? Or did you have to educate your team what it's okay not to say? Like, did you cross any type of boundaries?
The boundaries were big. That was a really good question. Boundaries were big, but not really. I'm open. So if you are playing sports and stuff, I would just say just be open. There are some things, that kind of go on in the locker room as far as I wouldn't say racism. Like I said earlier when I was explaining, like most people don't know. We all come from different places and different cultures, and we do things differently. So just being open to having those conversations was really big for me and with some of my teammates. We all here for the same reason. We all want to win, right? So we're gonna have to, let's build together. This is what I like, this is what you like, this is what you don't like, this is what I don't like. And just being honest and on the forefront with those things. But as far as just outright racism, no.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Sienna, don't go anywhere. Hold on. Because Sienna is a current student here at Muskingum. So I did want to give any of the prospective students that are on a call the opportunity. If you have any questions for Sienna, she was able to join us. And so if you have any questions that you would like to ask Sienna, I want you to be able to do that in the last 5 or 10 minutes that we have here. No pressure, but I wanted to provide that opportunity since she jumped on the call.
I don't bite. I'm very friendly.
Are you taking a walk across campus right now?
No, I'm outside in front of Cambridge Hall, like Cambridge area.
Okay. Well, I think that we have had a really great conversation tonight. And so, Josh, I thank you so much for kicking off this this celebration this month, and for jumping in here. I'm so glad that we did not have to navigate really different time zones. I'm glad that you were actually in Cleveland and not in Vietnam or Australia, so that we could make this work a lot easier. And I thank you just not just for taking the time to be here, but to taking the time to give us such thoughtful responses. And again, you know, as we were communicating ahead of time, you promised transparency, and I just think that was really evident tonight, and just appreciate your authentic desire to not just share your Muskingum experience, but to kind of paint that picture for other people who are getting ready to embark on their Muskingum experience. So I thank you so much. Jordan, Danielle, anything that you would like to say as we close?
Yeah, just again, thank you for everybody, you know, coming. Like Danielle and Jen said, this is a very diverse group of people on this call, from students to faculty members to, you know, coaches to prospective students, and we really appreciate you guys taking the time out of, you know, your evening to hang out with Josh and everybody else. So thank you, for real. This is awesome.
Absolutely, my sentiments exactly. Thank you, President Hassler, for joining us. And I just want to thank everyone. To our prospective students, please, 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 if you have time, join us for the rest of the Wednesdays this month. We will be having alumni from various decades. So we're going to have alumni who will have very different experiences throughout the month. And we're going to talk more about our Black History Month theme, the Black family, representation, identity, and diversity. So please join us if you have time. I think, Jordan, will you be sending out these recordings as well to them?
We will have them clipped up, and they will be somewhere, yes.
Okay, great. We'll have these available for you. Jordan, please feel free. If you all have any questions or you think of anything later that you'd like to ask, Jordan can forward you my email, contact information. Please reach out. We're excited that you're considering Muskingum. Josh, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate your answers, and I appreciate you joining us tonight and sharing your experiences. Please share well, you're about to go to Australia, but if you could share a mailing address with Jen, we'd like to send you a thank you for joining us this evening.
Okay, no problem. Thanks for having me, everybody. Good to see everybody, from President to Jen to Danny Ingold. Thank you, guys. It's good to see you. I hope all is well.
Thanks, Josh.
Thank you. Best of luck.
See you, Josh.
Love you, big boy. We'll talk soon.
For sure. See you.